Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, April 25th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also for you Bitcoin traders, I will do a bonus Bitcoin analysis at the end. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candle that you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, MARA. Been tracking this one and want to continue to track it as it finally decided to act human a little bit here. I think I might have actually just lied. I was going to say, and not put in new highs, but yeah, I lied because right there you can see on that candle, it actually did put in a new high right there from earlier this morning, but before coming back down. So apologize for lying. So it did put in a new high, but then acted human in the sense of it's not like it exploded upwards or anything like that. Pulled back, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched the previous video, but if you did, hopefully remember me talking about 1865 as an area of support, and you can see that area did a fantastic job of holding strong there. So moral of the story, moving into Thursday, the initial area of support is still going to be right at 1865, and again, good to see that there were buyers down at that level. But from the overarching standpoint, you'll just want to continue to watch a purple line down here, that 50-period moving average as that main area of support. Keyword there being moving, so as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So it's essentially like a trend line that's drawn itself for you. So long as the price stays above that overarching trend line, then the overall trend is still in an uptrend. As far as resistances are concerned, nothing new here to report. Still all about that 1990 mark right there, the red line. And you can see that is where there's that miniature, small little breakout right there before quickly recovering back downwards. So in that regard, nothing new, still 1990 as the main battleground. Next one, CSSE, and this is why I like to do these when the markets are still open, because check this out as I talk. Great action right now on the breakout, and that's what this is all going to revolve around. So on kind of the negative side of things, if you like to play breakouts, then yeah, you missed the breakout because that trend line right there, you can see that was the resistance part, and the breakout has happened. But with that being said, that does lead to a very, very exciting question. That question being, is this the start of something even bigger? Now, think about that question. It makes no sense to ask it if nothing worthwhile is happening. But in this situation, something is happening. A breakout is happening, so we can indeed ask that question. To be fair, maybe not. Maybe this thing is just a fake breakout. It rolls right back over. Totally possible, but that is a two-sided coin because, well, I mean, maybe it is the start of something much bigger, and this thing's just going to get ready to keep ripping and rolling going into Thursday and then Friday. So, like I said, if you like penny stocks, if you like to play these scenarios where you get breaks and then you can ask yourself the question, is this the start of something even bigger? Then certainly keep an eye on this one. Next, SQQQ, one that we've been tracking and has continued to pull back further. Now, big picture-wise, this thing is still very much so in an overall uptrend. Although with the newer lows today, it's starting to definitely show some signs of weakness. So I want to get some levels here updated. Main area from a resistance standpoint, definitely going to be right here at that $12 mark. You can see looking back through the history of things, $12 acted as resistance several times there. And then you look at it from today and once again behaved as resistance. So definitely keep a close eye on the $12 mark moving forward. In terms of supports, what I like in the very near term is when you look at the lows. So you have a low there. You have a low there, and now you have a little even higher low right there. So there are higher lows being put into place. Does that guarantee this thing's going to, continue on up? Of course not. There are no guarantees, but does it make it a very interesting situation? Does it make it a little bit more plausible that maybe the bulls are getting ready to, bring an attack once again at that $12 mark and potentially push up through there? Yeah, that's certainly a plausible scenario. On the flip side of things, if everything just rolls right back over and the price comes back down, definitely a very, very important level of support would then be that pink line down there, which on my chart denotes the very well-known, very famous 200-period moving average. So, yeah, these higher lows, interesting dynamic. Let's see if this can lead to a breakout to the upside or not. Next one, BOF, good solid pattern here. So let's just get this pattern drawn on a play, and then I can talk about it more. So we have the top part of the pattern right there. And then, in fact, for the bottom part of the pattern, I'm just going to go ahead and use the pink line here, which is the 200-period moving average extended out as it'll look something like that. And then to maybe make the pattern easier to see, let's just now make it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big explosive move right here. For you golfers, let me put the golf hole down here, make it a little bit more visual for you. And this would be a bull pennant pattern. So while nothing is guaranteed, as I've said, is it valid? Is it plausible to think that if the price comes up here and pushes up through the top part of the pattern right there, that break, even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, but that break could induce more buying, more momentum, that is certainly a plausible scenario. So if you like this price range, you like bull pennant patterns, definitely keep an eye on BOF. Next one, TSLA. Tesla had earnings, and although earnings weren't necessarily good, apparently in the markets world, they were good, as there's a big gap up, and Tesla's finally starting to get things turned around. I am now, you know what? No, let's just keep it in play. I put this line in place, and let's just keep it here, just to see if it ever does ultimately come back into play. But as of right now, self-admittedly, pretty irrelevant given the prices all the way up there. A much more relevant area of support would just simply, be where the price. Change that to green for sport. But where the price in this pullback finally stopped right here, and to add in a little bit more context, you can see that it was essentially this breakout point right here. So moving forward right there at 158, and this is just based on a rule in charting which states when levels of resistance are broken, and you can see right here, clear level of resistance multiple times are broken. You want to see them act as support. You have a great example of that. Support right there, and then support once again. So if the price does roll back over, again, 158 will be that main area of support to keep an eye on. And then, yeah, you have the 50-period moving average and the trend line down here. But that, like I said, both those levels are kind of irrelevant right now. 158, the much more relevant area of support. Zooming back in here and looking at resistance levels, current key battleground that the price is really struggling with is that pink line there, 200-period moving average. You can see that, you know, it's just having a hard time building any sort of momentum. Time and time again, it's been right up around that area. Just hasn't been able to build momentum. If it can get some separation to the upside, then definitely next key level to watch very closely would be right up there at the 168 mark. All things considered, good solid day today. So can Tesla continue to build upon it? Next couple of days, I think, will be very revealing. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free webinar. If you're watching on YouTube, there is a link down in the description box you can use to sign up. Or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the page you can use to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely take a moment here to get signed up for that free webinar. Next one, RIOT. And what I'm going to do here is make a couple of adjustments and get rid of that level. Yeah, it still pertains, but I think the more watch level moving forward, and I care about the levels that I think are being watched the most because that's where those self-fulfilling prophecies can come into play. But it's going to be that resistance line right there based on the trend line, which not complicated at all to draw. So I'm not trying to press you. I'm not trying to imply that's a great talent. But in fact, the reason why it is simple is great because we assume that a lot of people have drawn that, meaning a lot of people are watching that level and a breakout trader saying, oh, look, this thing's breaking out. Oh, I'm a breakout trader. I'm supposed to buy in the breakout. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to buy. That's where that self-fulfilling prophecy type momentum can come into play. So keep an eye on that from a resistance standpoint. If this does pull back a little bit more, then nothing new here to report from the previous time I've done the analysis. 1140, that green line there still remains that near-term level of support with the overarching level, that purple line there getting closer and closer because as a reminder, that is a moving average. So that line will eventually move up above the green line, but as of right now has not happened yet. But overall, pull back a little bit here today, but have a very nice breakout trend line. So we'll see if the bulls can push up through it on Thursday. Next one, TSLL, and I like this pattern here very much. So once again, this idea of the self-fulfilling prophecy. So as far as the bottom part of the pattern is concerned, in terms of areas of support, just keep an eye right there around the 635 mark. Change that as a support. And then in terms of areas of resistance, once again, I'm not going to use a trend line for this. Let's just use that pink line there, 200-period moving average, a classic example again of why that level is so famous, as it has provided resistance right there. And then maybe make it easier to see what's once again. So we have our resistance, we have our support, you have the big upwards move right here. Maybe some would call this a bull pennant. Others might say, no, that's a bull flag. Whatever you want to call it, that's fine. But the point here being, as far as the story is concerned, is big move up, doing some consolidating, and now it's just a question of, is this consolidation going to lead to more upside pressure? So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Next one, AMST. I like this setup quite a bit because it's based on the premise here that there's a strong gap up, and then it dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped. And right around here, it becomes very valid to say, uh-oh, is this one of these situations where this thing is going to just gap and trap, go right back to where it started? But we got the answer, and no, it did not all of a sudden keep on going down. It started to go sideways, which puts our support right there at about $2.96. And this is very important because now with this sideways action, it implies that, okay, it's reasonable that maybe this is some sort of bottom. Now, don't get me wrong, and I wish I could say trading was this easy, where I could say, well, it went down, and now it's going sideways. For sure, it's going to go back up. Of course, no for sure, but it just becomes a whole lot more plausible as, you know, case in point, if the price was still dropping, and I'm saying, hey, it's looking like this could be the bottom, you'd be totally justified to say, what are you talking about? Based on what? The price is literally still dropping. But that's not the case here. It is starting to go sideways. So is this some sort of bottom? Is the pullback over? That is certainly a plausible question to now throw out there. Key area of resistance moving forward going to be right there around that $3.42 mark. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, no doubt about it. Huge surge, pretty nasty pullback. Now going sideways. So is this thing going to get ready to curl back upwards? We'll see what happens. Next one, MULN. Probably should have put this at a different location within the watch list because you've already heard me talk about this pattern a couple of times. But some days you just get a lot of the same patterns out there, and we're going to have that once again. So we have our area of resistance, have our area of support. I suppose I could have just used the trend line right there, but, the moving average right there is a trend line. And then to make it easier to see, let's keep it the same color. So resistance, support, big surge up, golf hole down here. We have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So you definitely have quite a variety from the bull pennant, bull flag scenario here. I'm headed into Thursday, but here is just one more with MULN. Next, TQQQ, and not a whole lot to update here. Just from an overarching standpoint, this trend line here that I put into play has not been violated, has not been tested, but we'll keep an eye on it. So let me get that extended out. In terms of areas of resistance, for those of you that watched the previous video, 5460 is the level I talked about, and you can see this morning it was not exact, but certainly generally speaking within the range. The momentum just disappeared before going back down. Good news is it's not like it went down and then down and then down. Nothing like that. In fact, it leveled out and is now a slight little higher low. So there's a little miniature upwards trend here. But even if the price does break to the downside, not the end of the world because you have not only the overall trend line right there, which I already talked about, but that 50-period moving average, which is starting to curl back upwards, which is a good sign. And then, like I said, resistance-wise, nothing new here to report right there at 5460. I don't know, maybe I'm fitting a square peg through a round hole. But kind of, maybe, I don't know, square peg through a round hole, maybe a bull pennant here, but I completely respect you if you're like, no, Clay, you're trying too hard on that one. Fair enough. For you Bitcoin traders, I'll get to Bitcoin in here in just a second. But for you stock traders, if you enjoyed what you saw, again, go get signed up for that free webinar. It'll be Thursday, April 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It is live. I will prove it to you there at the time that it is live. So show up for the live training, ask some questions, and we're going to learn a whole lot. Now let's talk some Bitcoin. Quick clarification here. We are now using the 4-hour time frame, not the 30-minute, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 4 hours worth of time. And given that Bitcoin is open 24/7, I want this analysis to remain relevant for as long as possible. And using the 4-hour allows that to be the case. Now, as a quick recap, for those of you that watched the video 24 hours ago, the big question mark was, okay, what's going to happen here with that 200-period moving average? And yeah, the power of charts just rejected. And now we're getting a very big rejection back to the downside. So moving forward, I'm just going to assume you're watching this video 15, 20 hours from now. So question number one, you need to ask yourself, 15, 20 hours from now is this. Where is the price at relative to that green line, 64,500, which also happens to be the purple line, the 50-period moving average. So both one and the same. If you're answering the question that the price is up above that level, then that is a good sign. That is essentially saying that this current pullback here has not spun out of control anymore or anything like that. So if you're answering the question the price is above 64,500, very, very good thing. If somehow you're answering the question that the price is also above that pink line, well, that would imply that Bitcoin is just having a very, very good period because that means it's come down here and now exploded back to the upside. I doubt that's going to be the case, but like I said, question number one, where is the price at relative to 64,500? If you're saying, well, Clay, no, the price is actually down below that level as it is right now. Okay, well, next question, is it down below 61,300? If you're answering the question that the price is also down below there, that's telling you that Bitcoin is having a very, very rough go at it over the past, several hours because that would require a whole lot. But if you're saying, well, no, Clay, the price is still above 61,300, but it is down below 64,500, then from a bigger picture point of view, it's essentially just consolidation because you can see this range was here before, so it's not like the price hasn't been down in this range recently. So like I said, even if you're answering the price anywhere around here, like I said, nothing crazy. That's obviously not as bullish as it was when it was knocking on the door up here, but I also want to say that, it's game over or anything like that. But if somehow the price is down below 61,300, that would be a much bigger red flag. Again, as I invited the stock traders, I am inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader, because what you'll learn about in this class can and definitely should be used in the world of Bitcoin and crypto. So it'll be Thursday, April 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Show up, like I said, ask me some questions, because it's a genuine live event, and we will definitely have a good time. So thanks for watching. If you enjoy these top 10 videos plus Bitcoin, hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and go get signed up for that free class.